For this research case study, I will be reviewing Williams v. Gaye. The case involved plaintiffs Pharrell Williams, Robin Thicke, and Clifford Harris, also known as T.I., versus defendants Frankie Christian Gaye, Marvin Gaye, and Nona Marvissa Gaye in a case of song copyright infringement. In July 2013, before the U.S. release of the album Blurred Lines, representatives of Marvin Gaye's estate and Funkadelic's publisher, Bridgeport Music, separately contacted Williams and Thicke, alleging that Blurred Lines infringed the copyrights in the compositions Sexy Ways and Got to Give It Up. The case lasted 5 years, and though there was a final verdict, there was an appeal that ended in mixed opinions from the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. The whole case stemmed from an interview with GQ, where Robin Thicke was asked to describe the origin of his new single, Blurred Lines. Thicke responded, as many artists would have, mentioning his inspirational influence for the song, who happened to be Marvin Gaye. Thicke stated that one of his favorite songs of all time was Marvin Gaye's Gotta Give It Up, and he and Pharrell Williams should make something like that, something with a groove. The bargaining position for Marvin Gaye's estate is a monetary settlement for the infringement of the hit song Got to Give It Up from 1976. They contacted Williams and Thicke prior to filing a counterclaim that detailed such request and informed them that if the trio did not pay a monetary settlement of the Gaye estate's claim, the Gaye estate would initiate litigation for copyright infringement. The bargaining position for Williams and Thicke is that they did not infringe on the original song, but merely used it as inspiration. In fact, since Williams and Thicke were aware of the demand from the Gays, they filed a suit first for a declaratory judgment of a non-infringement, because being reminiscent of a sound is not copyright infringement. Thus, the Gaye defendants are claiming ownership of an entire genre, as opposed to specific work. The underlying interest of the Gaye estate was no different from their bargaining position. They did not care if the song was infringed upon. They ultimately wanted a monetary settlement for the use of it. In industry terms, they want royalties for any revenue coming from the song Blurred Lines. With this monetary request, they also want Marvin Gaye to get the credit he deserves for this song. The underlying interest of Williams and Thicke was to defend the music industry and its future, a case that essentially implies that a similar sound can be infringing on a copyrighted song, could change how musicians create and work in the future. So where do you draw the line between inspiration and infringement? For many artists, their music is created through the inspiration of a previous song, a previous or current artist, or a mix of rhythms, lyrics, and compositions. When it comes to crossing the line in the music industry, the standard is to get permissions and royalties are to be negotiated. The process to get permissions is to identify the owner, identify the rights needed, contact the owner to negotiate payment, and get permission in writing. When the Gaye estate approached Williams and Thicke, they approached the conversation as a commander. The commander's communication style is very agenda-driven, concise in communication, and not good at being flexible. The Gaye estate demanded monetary settlement up front and left no room for negotiation or understanding. When Williams and Thicke initially filed, they approached the conversation as a thinker. The thinker's communication style is detailed, accurate, and efficient with time and resources. Williams and Thicke used their research and knowledge of the inspirational song to validate that they did not infringe on the copyright. The game theory method that represents this case is the Grudger method. This theory is explained as a cooperative approach initially, but once the other party rebuttals with a defective approach, they never turn back to cooperating. The Gaye estate started by defecting, and this was in turn rebutted in the same way from Williams and Thicke. This process was never changed. As throughout the case, it showcased that neither party was willing to negotiate outside of their original bargaining position. So what went well? For the Gaye estate, the negotiation process went well in the aspect that Marvin Gaye's credit was given and upheld for his writing of the song. The family was able to bring awareness to the fine line between infringement and inspiration. Though the outcome was not of popular opinion within the industry, and with the support of over 200 musicians claiming that a groove or feel cannot be copyrighted and inspiration is not copying, it still brought the topic to the table. For the Williams and Thicke party, the process went well in the aspect that they approached the case with many pieces of evidence. Having the education and the music background combined between the party, they were able to showcase what musicians really do and how fine that line is, and how it is becoming more and more difficult to walk on. So what went wrong? What went wrong in the negotiation process as a whole was that, to me, neither party really won. Yes, the verdict showcases a winner and a loser, but did the money solve any problems? From the viewpoint of the negotiations, it just brought to light how musicians need to walk on eggshells more than ever before when drawing inspiration from previous songs. This made the Gaye family looked upon as a threat to the creativity of the industry, and made Williams and Thicke looked upon as artists who are fighting the industry standards. Now for the verdict. The initial verdict was $7.3 million to be awarded to the Gaye estate. After an appeal, the judge agreed to cut that amount to $5.3 million in damages to be paid by Williams and Thicke. Together, Williams and Thicke owed $2.8 million to the Gaye family. Thicke was also ordered to pay $1.7 million additionally, and Williams, along with his publishing company, was ordered to pay an additional $357,000 to the Gaye family. They were also granted royalties for 50% of the songwriter and publishing revenue going forward. This case is believed to be one of the largest damages awards in the music copyright case, and it all stemmed from a GQ interview answer. Please see the references used during this research case study.